Let's talk about something that's happening every single time you go online. Invisible walls are being built all around you. And the crazy part is, without you even realizing it, they're making your world smaller.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? You're scrolling and your feed just gets you. It serves up the perfect video, a meme that is so your sense of humor, or a headline that feels like it's reading your mind. And yeah, it's super comfortable. It feels really validating. But what if that perfect, cozy little bubble is actually a trap?
Okay, so before we dive into all the problems, I want to be really clear about something. This isn't all bad, not by a long shot. Actually, our drive to find these little online corners is, well, it's deeply human. We're all just looking for our tribe, right?
And for so many people, the internet is exactly where they find it. Just think about it. You've got fan communities totally geeking out over the same show, hobby groups connecting people from opposite sides of the planet, or that massive, awesome community of readers on #BookTalk. And for marginalized youth, this is huge. These online spaces can be an absolute lifeline, a safe place to find support and understanding that maybe, just maybe, they can't find offline.
And look, this isn't just some feel-good idea. It's a genuine developmental need. The Digital Wellness Lab puts it perfectly. Finding a space where you feel you belong is a critical part of growing up. I mean, it's how we form our identity. It can even help with things like depression. So yeah, these online communities, they're doing a very real, very important job for us as humans.
But, of course there's a but. There's a twist to these cozy spaces we love so much. While we're all busy connecting with our tribe, someone else is quietly drawing the blueprints for the very rooms we're hanging out in. There's this invisible architect deciding what we see, shaping our entire experience, and we don't even notice. And who is this architect? Yep, it's the algorithm.
And this brings us to this really key concept you've probably heard of, the filter bubble. So what is it? Well, it's the idea that these algorithms are basically watching everything you do, every like, every share, every single search, and they use all that data to build a totally personalized, unique universe of information just for you. It's like your own private internet. And in the process, they filter out anything they think you won't like, which often includes, you guessed it, different points of view.
So how in the world did we get here? Well, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt points to this really crucial period, right around 2009. First, boom, the like button shows up. Suddenly, everything we say online becomes a performance for social validation. At the exact same time, the retweet button arrives, basically giving outrage a rocket booster. And then came the real game changer. Platforms ditched the simple chronological feeds for these super complex algorithmic ones, all optimized for one single thing, keeping you engaged.
And what's the number one thing that drives engagement? Divisiveness, conflict, outrage. And listen, this is not just speculation. This quote, it's from a leaked 2018 internal memo from Facebook's own researchers. They said it themselves flat out. Our algorithms exploit the human brain's attraction to divisiveness. Wow. They knew. They knew their own system was pushing us apart simply because it kept us glued to the screen longer.
Okay, but here's the thing. The algorithm isn't some supervillain working alone. It has a powerful accomplice, an inside man, if you will. And that accomplice is our own brain. The truth is, we're psychologically wired to love these bubbles. We kind of want these walls built around us. The main culprit here is a little psychological trap we all fall into called confirmation bias. It's super simple, really. It's just our natural habit of looking for, believing, and sharing stuff that already fits with what we think is true. And at the same time, we're really good at ignoring or just dismissing anything that challenges those beliefs. So get this, we're not just passively sitting in our feeds, we're actually active participants. We're helping to build the walls of our own echo chambers. Just look at the difference between these two ways of thinking. When you're trying to seek the truth, you're open to new stuff, you're actually willing to admit you might be wrong, and, you learn something. But when you're just seeking confirmation, your brain goes into defense mode. It starts actively filtering out anything that disagrees. The goal is no longer to learn, the goal is just to be right. And that mindset right there is a super fast highway to polarization. Okay, now this is where it gets really, really powerful. The platforms take our natural confirmation bias and put it on steroids with something researchers call the affective feedback loop. Think about it. Every time you post something that your group agrees with, you get a like. And that like isn't just a number, it's a little hit of dopamine, a little jolt of validation. It feels good. It makes you feel like you belong. And what does that do? It encourages you to post more of the same stuff to get another hit. It's this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. And of course, the platforms are monetizing the whole thing. So, okay, it feels good to be validated. It feels good to belong. What's the big deal? Well, turns out the price we pay for all this cozy agreement is actually pretty steep. And not just for us as individuals, but for all of society.
This image right here it perfectly shows the problem. This is a map of scientific research, and I want you to zero in on that big red cluster in the middle. See it? Right at the heart of it all, you've got social media and platform. And look at what they're tangled up with, what they're directly connected to. Polarization, misinformation, disinformation, bias. I mean, the scientific data itself is screaming that these things are all tied together. They're basically inseparable.
And the real danger here is that when we're only ever hearing the same ideas over and over again, you get this homogenization of culture. It all becomes the same. We totally lose out on that messy, beautiful exchange of new ideas. And that's what stifles real innovation, creativity, and our ability to think critically. Because if the status quo is never challenged, nothing ever changes. Let me give you a perfect real-world example of how an online bubble can get completely detached from reality. So the term Latinx became super popular in certain online spaces, right? Particularly in some progressive and academic circles. But what happens when you actually ask people of Hispanic descent what they prefer? The data is just stark. A massive 68% prefer the term Hispanic. Another 21% prefer Latino or Latina. And the number of people who actually use Latinx? Just 2%. It's such a clear case of an online consensus being totally out of touch with the very community it's talking about. All right, so what do we do about all this? Do we just, delete all our apps and go live in a cabin? Well, not necessarily. The good news is we're not powerless here. We have agency. We can actually learn to take back the blueprints and become the architects of our own online world. Step 1, you've got to challenge your own brain. This is the hard part. Instead of looking for things that prove you right, try doing the opposite. Seek falsification. Actively look for the smartest arguments that tear your view apart. And then, get outside your bubble. Intentionally talk to someone who you know sees things differently. And the most important part, learn to embrace that feeling of discomfort when you hear a new idea. That's not a threat. That's actually what learning feels like. Okay, step 2. It's time to train your algorithm. You have to be intentional about this. Curate your feed like you're a museum curator. Follow the accounts you genuinely want to see and be ruthless about unfollowing the ones you don't. But this next part is absolutely crucial. You have to give the algorithm corrective feedback. Every single time you see something you don't like, hit that show me less of this button, or not interested. You are literally telling the architect what not to build in your world. And please, stop rewarding outrage and clickbait with your attention. Finally, wherever you can, switch back to a chronological feed. It's such a simple way to take a little bit of that power back.
Look, at the end of the day, this all boils down to a choice. Your online world is being built brick by brick, every single day. The algorithms and our own biases are more than happy to keep building those walls higher and higher if we just let them. So the real question we all have to ask ourselves is, who's going to hold the blueprints? Is it going to be them, or is it going to be us?